There is a saying that when a ship is sinking, don't simply scream, but go fix the leaks. This is exactly what we hope to achieve with a turnaround strategy. Now, this is not just about making small changes or tweaking strategies and all. No, this is about pulling an organization out of the ICU and getting it back on its feet. You're turning around, like a U turn you're taking. So, what exactly is turnaround management? In simple terms, it is a strategic process that is used to rescue a company that is in deep trouble. Maybe it is financial trouble, operationally, or even both. When a company is facing serious issues like falling sales or heavy losses, or even the risk of going bankrupt, turnaround management involves quick, bold decisions and strong leadership to fix the situation, improve performance, and get the company back to profitability. So it is a mix of, tough love like cost cutting or layoffs and smart strategies like diversification or brand repositioning. But why do companies have to go for turnaround management in today's world? Right. You can think about it like this. So markets, we all know they are changing faster than IPL scores, right? Technology is evolving daily. Customer preferences are also shifting. Competition is cutthroat. Even big names can fall behind. Correct. That is what happened with Idea, Vodafone. Right. So when companies find themselves losing money or losing market share or just they are just struggling to survive, turnaround becomes essential because it can help prevent bankruptcy, restore confidence among investors and employees, and make the company flexible and ready for future challenges. So, now let us talk. Now that I have established what how important turnaround strategy is or turnaround management is, let us look at the key strategies. There is no one size fits all formula even here. A good turnaround strategy will depend on the company's situation, industry, resources, and even the culture. In India, for instance, we have seen companies like India Cements, Jet Airways, and Videocon try different turnaround strategies. India Cements focused on operational improvements, reduced costs, restructured its debt, and even repositioned its brand. Whereas Jet Airways at one point it tried debt restructuring and equity conversion. Bharat Forge moved from automotive parts to electric vehicle motors. Tata Steel introduced a lean management system called as the Tata Steel Way. So basically, whether it is India Cements or Jet Airways or Bharat Forge or Tata Steel, each company picked what best suited them. It was like choosing but masala dosha or butter naan depending on what you are in the mood for, like that. Now let us understand some of the common turnaround strategies. Okay, these turnaround strategies are like tools in your emergency repair kit, I will say. One very obvious move is cost reduction. Spend less and have more control on your spending. Then there is the debt restructuring. This is like talking to banks or creditors to ease the financial pressure, give some extensions to the loans, things like that. Some companies go for divestment, that is sell off non-core businesses so as to raise cash. Others might focus on product market realignment, market focus, product market realignment. Okay, that might be the focus. So they might narrow down to what they do best, what product sells best, what are the few or what which product line has maximum sales or gives maximum revenue. Focus on that, like that. You may also see operational improvement also, or organizational restructuring, leadership change, even brand revitalization. Take Tata Motors for example. They brought in new partnerships and launched electric cars. That was both a strategic and forward thinking. Now comes the fun part. What kinds of turnaround situations do companies face? What are the various turnaround types they face? Let us say a company is literally running out of cash. Then, then they are in cash crisis, and it calls for a turnaround. Here, the top priority will be to save the business from collapsing, or maybe the problem is with the top management itself. Like in that case, a managerial overhaul might be required. You'll have to overthrow the managers and bring in someone new. Sometimes the company may have invested in the wrong assets or in wrong markets. Then we will have to need a asset cost surgery, right? Then there may also be some transformational changes required, where a company will have to completely reinvent itself, or they may have to go for some sales push strategies. When all that is missing is a better marketing or better sales effort, then they might go for a sales push strategy. So each situation uh, demands a different response, just like how your study plan will have to change during your exam week, right? Now, how exactly does this whole turnaround process work? What are the steps in turnaround management? All starts with assessing the situation, figure out what went wrong. So managers might conduct SWOT analysis or check the financial health of the organization, look at operations or get feedback. Then comes the next step, that is developing a plan. um, it means we have to build a solid practical roadmap for change. After that, it is all about getting stakeholder buy-in. Get the stakeholders on board with the plan that you have created. Convince your investors, your employees, suppliers, all that different stakeholders that your plan that you have developed in step 2 is actually going to work. And once everyone is on board, we can start the implementation. That is the fourth step in the process. This is the real action phase. And then comes monitoring. Once you have implemented your plan, you have to monitor it, you have to track its progress and tweak the plans if necessary and stay flexible. Finally, if everything goes well, then you can say that you have a successful turnaround. The stability gets restored, performance improves, and confidence returns back to you, to your organization. How about hearing some real life cases? Interested? Yeah? Okay. First, let us look at some Indian examples. You remember Satyam Computers? Have you heard of them? I hope you have. If not, just look them up, okay? Just do a 2-minute Wikipedia read. That is enough. It is a rapid roundup video. That is why I'm not going into the whole story of Satyam Computers. So Satyam Computers were one India's fourth largest IT firm. Okay, but they got brought down by a massive financial scandal in the 2009. It was a very big deal at that time. And after that disaster, the government stepped in. A new board was formed, and eventually Tech Mahindra acquired this company, the Satyam Computers. And then through rebranding, restructuring and cultural rebuilding, the company rose from its ashes as the Mahindra Satyam. And then they later merged with Tech Mahindra. This is a real life Phoenix moment. Then internationally, now there are other examples also, right? Earlier we saw India Cements, Tata Steel, Jet Airways and all, Tata Motors and all. Earlier I told you, right? Those are also good examples of these turnaround strategies. Now let us now let us turn our eyes to the global market, international examples. Easy example to relate, Nokia. They are the ultimate examples. They were once the king of mobile phones, but then they got completely wiped out by Apple and Android. But did they give up? No. They brought in a new CEO, they partnered with Microsoft, they cut their costs, they focused on their core strengths, and now they're even launching new products. Though they've eventually sold their mobile division to Microsoft, they did bounce back strong in the networking and tech services. Now, every turnaround strategy or every turnaround is a story of resilience. It is all about making bold choices and learning from failures and keeping hope alive even in the darkest of times. It is like that fairy tale classic, right? It is kind of like binge watching a show at 3 a.m., knowing that you have a class at 9 or even an exam at 9. Have you guys done that? Oh my God, I have done that. Yeah, when I was in college, I've done that. You still pull yourself together and you show up fresh faced. Mm. So, to sum it up, Turnaround management is not just crisis control. It is all about reimagining the business, making tough decisions, bringing people together, and leading change with confidence. So, whether you are an HR manager or a strategist or a consultant, knowing how to support a turnaround can be your secret power in the corporate world. So that is it for this session. If in case you need any explanation on a particular topic in depth, let me know that in the comment section below. This was a rapid roundup video. Let us catch up in another one. Happy learning.